sort of terrorist attack or an attempt, whether it's Boston or whether it's the Boston bomber or whether it's the underpants bomber who tried to blow up one of the aircraft going to America, even though there's no connection directly with Guantanamo prisoners, quickly people within the right wing in the United States of America make that link and say that there's now a threat to national security, so these folk in Guantanamo, who's obviously got nothing to do with it, are going to bear the brunt of it. But the truth is, it's simple, that 780 of us plus were held in Guantanamo. We were told, the world was told that we are the world's most dangerous men, and yet the majority of us have been released, and the majority of us have not become terrorists, and despite all the torture we've been subjected to. In fact, we've reached out to some of our Guantanamo guards and interrogators, and they've come to visit us in our homes. Now, America's not prepared to reciprocate that. I mean, they won't even take us into US prisons, let alone their homes. And so the language does need to change, and it needs to change from the top. There's no point in using the 15-year-old narrative that these people are all terrorists. We're not. It was our rights that were abused. We didn't abuse anybody's rights, for the most part.
So, Moazzam, is your big fear then that the detainees who are still currently there will go from being in this kind of human rights black hole, if you like, of where they already are, to simply moving to a different set of legal complexities if they ever get to be moved? Is that your big fear?
Well, one of the labels given to the prisoners in Guantanamo is that they were enemy combatants. In the United States, there were 3 individuals who were designated during the early years of the War on Terror as enemy combatants, and they were held without charge or trial on US soil. But that was a nightmare for the United States judges and lawyers and so forth. If you were to bring a whole group of people, about 60 or 70 people, and put them into supermax prisons, and already with the story that there's been 14 years of torture and abuse, which the United States Senate report has recognized, I think it's going to be a quagmire. You will have to entirely rewrite the US Constitution to try to bring these people to court, because no case, not even the case of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who's allegedly the mastermind of 9/11, would be prosecutable on the US mainland under under the rule of law. That's why you've got the military commissions process that can only be applied in Guantanamo, which has very low standards of evidentiary procedures. So I think the best thing Obama could do here is try to repatriate or to resettle those people who've been cleared for release, and those who haven't been charged should also be cleared, because after all, if you've been interrogated by the world's most powerful law enforcement and intelligence agencies after 14 years, if you haven't got evidence against them, you're not going to get it at the end of this process either.
And Moazzam, I want to bring back this story to the people who are right at the centre of it. How does it feel to sit there every day knowing that there may be no end to your incarceration? What sort of effect does that have on a person?
Well, clearly that is the greatest torture, and I just want to point this out so people understand that the world's worst convicted criminals, mass murderers, rapists and so forth are afforded basic human rights that none of the Guantanamo prisoners gets: the rights of visitation by family, the rights of phone calls, the rights of association with other prisoners, the right to study and to learn. None of these things have been afforded to the Guantanamo prisoners for 14 years. So it's debilitating, it's destructive, it's corrosive. I feel almost unqualified now to talk about this because I was only there for 3 years. Recently, I just spent the weekend with Shakar Amar, as a British resident, was held in Guantanamo for 14 years without charge or trial. He came back to meet children that he's never seen before, or was so young that they hardly remember him. And nobody can put a price on that. I know Obama says that Guantanamo has cost us so much and it'll save us so much in monetary terms. But what about the destruction of the lives of numerous people, including children, who, after all, have had to be reunited with an innocent father? So these are the parts of the stories that nobody gets to hear, because we don't look at these people as humans. We look at them as numbers and figures and enemy combatants and unlawful belligerents. But very few people actually dissect the actual story of the destruction of these people's lives, and then the knock-on effect on society, which sees America as the perpetrator in this.
Moazzam Begg joining me there live from Birmingham, former Guantanamo Bay detainee. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.